Welcome to Thought Crime and Keto Crime, where Tracy does the sleuthing so you don't have to.
Hey everyone, Keto and Crime and Thought Crime here. This is a really quick video. I'm not even going to show my face, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to start spamming you with little tidbits about these crimes. I'm not going to. I'm going to by and large stick to my 3 longer videos, well-researched videos every week. So the next time you hear from me will be Sunday when I have book 3 of the Vallow-Daybell series. But I just wanted to let you guys know I'm not going to start spamming you, but it's just like every time I pick up, read an online article or even pick up a regular newspaper or watch television or just, because sometimes just for fun I start delving into things and I always find something new on this Vallow case. It just keeps going and going, and what popped up on my YouTube suggested, and I'll link it below, is East Idaho News actually showed the new hearing, the new arraignment hearing for Lori Vallow, as she was arraigned yesterday and charged with 2 more crimes. Now, she's been in an Idaho jail since January for basically felony desertion and non-support of minor children, with a original bail set at $5 million reduced to $1 million. But yesterday on a Zoom hearing, she was charged with 2 more counts of destruction and concealment of evidence and conspiracy to destroy and conceal evidence in charges, related to the finding of the remains of Tylee and JJ at Vallow-Daybell's residence in Rexburg, Salem, Idaho. Now, I also know that detectives have been back to the Daybell residence as late as yesterday, and they left with more brown evidence bags, so I have no idea what was actually in those, though she was arraigned Monday with these additional charges. And on the call were the judge, Lori and her attorney, and her son Colby Ryan and his wife Kelsey, And the entire time I was listening to the judge, I was also watching Lori, and she started to cry at several points during it. She also told her attorney that she wanted to be addressed as Mrs. Daybell, which I thought that was kind of laughable. But she started to cry, and at first I thought, well, maybe she's showing some remorse. Maybe we're going to see a confession. But no, she continued to say she wished to plead not guilty to these charges, and even as the judge was reading the summary of the charges. But I believe, instead of actually feeling any remorse, which I don't think she feels any remorse, because I honestly think somewhere in her convoluted brain, she believes she's done the right thing for these kids. So I think she's crying over the charges, which is kind of laughable, because according to her and Vallow-Daybell, the end of the world is this month. I think the 11th, which is actually the day my family is leaving Florida to return to our home, so it could be a hell of a travel day. But yeah, so she's simply crying because she got caught, which, if someone actually believes the world's going to end in 11 days, would they really be crying if they were going on trial? Probably not. So I think she's beginning to see that maybe what she believed was bunkus, and now she realizes, oh, I might spend the rest of my life in jail, because the judge also set bail at $1 million for these charges. Now, I don't know if that means that now her bail currently sits at a total of $2 million or it's all together, but I'm going to say that it's probably now up to $2 million, which means she probably ain't getting out because, excuse me, my Southern coming out there. She's not getting out because no one is going to pay that for her. If they do, they're kind of foolish. Also, I started doing more digging on Jason Mao, and then that led me to some other information that Mao actually met her and Chad and was actually accompanied them to a LDS temple where he sealed them in the LDS rites as husband and wife. Now, to be the devoted LDS person that he claims to be, I don't see how that is possible when both of them were still married at the time. So Jason Mao, your hypocrisy is kind of showing there, and that perhaps there's evidence he was in Idaho teaching a class at BYU around the time that the kids disappeared. So I am not going to go on record as saying he had anything to do with this, but I think as far as being because I don't know, I don't know. I think he had anything to do with the deaths? No, but maybe he contributed to this whole thing by being the one to seal them against what I am convinced is against Mormon or LDS rules, because I don't think you're supposed to be sealed when you have a living spouse. That just doesn't sound right. And I'm sure my many LDS watchers down there will let me know that hopefully I'm correct in that assumption. And finally, one of the most interesting things I discovered is digging more while looking for books, digging more into the history of Spring Creek Books, which was Chad and Tammy Daybell's publishing company. I had watched several interviews with former writers who claimed that they were either not paid royalties or their attorneys told them that the writing contracts with Spring Creek, because he exclusively published Mormon or LDS spiritual books, much like the Arianic priesthood that I summarized for you guys, as well as the apocalyptic books, which were in the series of those, reading those now. Also, he also had a great interest in near-death experiences because he himself claimed to have had two. Well, he also published other writers with similar near-death experiences, and many of those writers contend they weren't paid their royalties correctly, or he retained the rights to their books and cut them out completely. So there was a lot of shenanigans going on at Spring Creek Books. Also, come to find out that Spring Creek Books was almost $200,000 in debt to various creditors for various things, and that a huge chunk of the $430,000 that Chad got when Tammy died went to bailing out his never profitable publishing company. So I think we're starting to see some good old-fashioned greed and money grubbing entering into this case rather than a true belief in spiritual zombies. I mean, it's starting to stack up. I do a lot of white-collar crime on this channel as well, and I'm starting to see the signs of a good old-fashioned insurance scam as well here. So, and in addition, at the time that she lost her former husbands, Lori Vallow was also nearing bankruptcy in both of those cases, which is why I think she was so upset when Charles Vallow had written her out of his life insurance and left it to his sister, who was the actual biological grandmother of JJ. So we're starting to see perhaps that even though I think she may have believed a lot of what she taught as far as apocalypse, maybe she did, but I think she also used that as an excuse to solve her financial problems, which in my opinion, same with Chad Daybell, in my opinion, I think that shows that maybe they know what they're talking about on some level, at least with setting a date for the end of the world is BS. Because why would you worry about financial problems if you're so convinced that the world is ending? Anyway, just something I thought about while I was sitting here and just wanted to kind of get out my thoughts to you guys and gals. I really appreciate all the comments, all the support. I know this is a really quick drop. Like I said, you won't hear from me again until Sunday when I have my other book summary for you guys, and I'm not going to start spamming you, but I just found these things out and I wanted to tell somebody, and my family, bless their hearts, they hear it from me all the time, and I know they get tired of it, so I just wanted to get it out to somebody that are as interested in this as I am. So anyway, I'm going to let you go now. I really appreciate you tuning in, and like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment if you want to support the channel. Those links are down below. Always appreciated, though never required. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, Keto Comic.